Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey there, nation. Welcome to the show. We help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander CheapSkate, and today is another edition of Age of the Realms. These are our Warhammer Age of Sigmar battle reports. This is battle report number 20. This one is a 1,000 point battle that is fought between yours truly with the Legion of the Hellmouth, which is my Disciples of Tzeentch army, versus my buddy Smells Like Febreze of the Wild Hunt of the 1,000 point Sylvaneth army. So that's right, we have gone full circle now when it comes to my experience of playing Warhammer Age of Sigmar. This time I am fighting against my old alma mater. I'm going against my old army that I used to play for majority of these battle reports. In fact, for the longest time I played nothing but Sylvaneth. But this time I get to see exactly what it's like to fight against my old army using my new Disciples of Tzeentch army. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and run down through the army list real quick, and then we'll go into deployment and start this battle off right. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the Legion of the Hellmouth. This is my 1,000 point Disciples of Tzeentch army. Leading it, we have Ackhold Hellbrass, the champion of Tzeentch. He is a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. He's got the Cult Demagogue command trait as well as the Crown of Conquest. That way you can use two command abilities every single phrase. After that, we have Barnabas the Scrivener. He is a Magister. He's, of course, armed with that spell, the Bolt of Change, which allows him to create Chaos spawns out of people he kills, so this guy's kind of valuable as well. We also have the Stormlords, or 10 Warriors of Chaos of Tzeentch with full command as well as Chaos Halberds, the Second Sons, which is a unit of 5 Chaos Knights of Tzeentch with full command and Chaos Glaives, Flotsam and Jetsam, which are Chaos Familiars, and the Changelings, which is my core of my army, which is 20 Zangors of full command as well as a pair of Savage Blades as well. So that'll make up my 1,000 point army for this battle report. And Smells Like Febreze is bringing in the Wild Hunt, which is a 1,000 point Sylvaneth army. This is the army I used to run back when I used to play Sylvaneth. Leading it is Coadil, the Dweller Lord. He is a Tree Lord Ancient with the Wisdom of Ancients command trait. He's equipped with Rhinos Lementiri to give him +2 on his Deepwood lore spells. And he's also packing the Verdant Blessing, which allows him to summon up another Sylvaneth woods per each of his command phases. Next, we have the Court of Seasons, which are 20 Dryads of Branch Nymph, as well as the Court of Heralds, which are 5 Tree Remnants of full command. And then after that, we have two units of Kurnoth Hunters, the Troop of Dawn and the Troop of Dusk. Each unit has 3 Kurnoth Hunters apiece, equipped with great bows. They also have a Huntmaster as well. And that'll bring up the 1,000 point for the army for this one. And that takes us directly to deployment. As you can see, we're fighting on a 4x4 table since both of us are packing 1,000 points apiece. As you can see, on both sides of the table, we have two Sylvaneth Wildwoods. My opponent put one in the left-hand corner and he rolled it for his terrain that was located there. Also, his Sylvaneth Wildwoods deployed on the far side of the board where his Tree Lord is located at. As you can see, I'm deployed along the near side of the board. Pretty much a pretty open terrain. All we really have is a tower that separates us from the middle there, so it'll be kind of interesting to see exactly how it's like to go up against my old army, because I remember deploying Sylvaneth Wildwoods like a madman, so it's kind of interesting to see exactly how that will look out. So anyways, with that being said, let's go to the individual deployment areas and talk about where everything's located at. Alright, so here's the left flank for my army. As you can see, I have the 5 Second Sons. Those are my 5 Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. They're located here right next to the Sylvaneth Wildwood, just so that my opponent doesn't pull any movement shenanigans and deploy any of his forces near the Sylvaneth Wildwood and attack it from the back ranks. Also, I put them here on the left flank so that way they kind of swoop around the tower to hand. They're putting some pressure on the left-hand flank for my opponent's army. So that's deployment here on the left-hand flank. And in the center is where the core of my army is located at. I have 20 Zangors, which are my changelings. They're located right there in the middle, and Zangors are probably one of the best units that come out of Disciples of Tzeentch. They got 2 wounds apiece. They can run and charge in the same turn. They can shoot magical bolts. They get bonuses for being near characters. The things that this unit can do is just absolutely outstanding. So that's basically the center formation for my army. Right behind them on the left-hand side, I have Ackhold Hellbrass. That's my Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. That's my general. Right next to him on the right-hand side, that's Flotsam and Jetsam, my Chaos Familiar. And on the right-hand side there, I have Barnabas the Scrivener. That is my Magister located right behind them as well. So that way he can give magical bonuses to the unit and at the same time be protected in close combat, and also cast his spell Bolt of Change to summon up some Chaos Spawn, which is actually kind of cool as well. And finally, on my right-hand flank, I have my Stormlords. Those are my 10 Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, armed with halberds and shields, and they're there just to protect my right-hand flank. It's a good, solid group of infantry. good to secure flanks, also pretty good at attacking as well. So that pretty much makes the deployment for this one. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about my buddy Smells Like Febrez's deployment. And located on the far side of the board with their Sylvaneth Wildwood is Coadel the Will Lord. My buddy Smells Like Febreze deployed that guy, so that way that Tree Lord can start summoning up Sylvaneth Wildwoods during his next turn. We both roll off for initiative, and the first turn goes to the Sylvaneth on this one, so we go directly to the top of turn number 1 for the Sylvaneth. So that takes directly to the top of turn number 1 for the Sylvaneth. This is after the command phase. As you can see in this photo, Coadel decided to use both his regular tree singing ability, where he can summon up a new Sylvaneth Wildwood, deploys that autumn-colored Sylvaneth Wildwood between the chateau and the far left-hand side of the tower, kind of protecting his left flank right there. At the same time, he also uses the Verdant Blessing spell and uses his Rando's Lamentary to cast off another Sylvaneth Wildwood that takes place between the tower and that hill in the far right-hand corner of the board as well. So now he has like this kind of like triangle of death with 3 different Sylvaneth Wildwoods. And I remember deploying these kind of Sylvaneth Wildwoods when I was playing this army in order to create kind of like a perimeter for me to fight from when I bring in my units. Basically, the only way I can really counter against that is if I charge my units as quickly as I possibly can across his battlefield through those Sylvaneth Wildwoods, so that way they're kind of useless to him, and then engage his units to try to take him out with that part. So anyways, that pretty much makes up the command phase on this one. So with that being said, we go to the movement phase. And in the movement phase, he deploys both his Troop of Dawn as well as his Troop of Dusk, located on the left and right hand side of that Sylvaneth Wildwood there in the center and the far side of the board. Basically brings those guys up on the field, so that way you can start shooting with those guys, because everybody knows Kurnoth Greatbows are a beast in this game, so why wouldn't he deploy these guys? And in the shooting phase, he managed to kill 4 of my Zangors with the first opening salvo on that part. So that was kind of rough. You know, these Kurnoth Greatbows, they cause D3 wounds apiece when they land, so I was pretty fortunate. I only lost 4 of my Zangors. I could have lost a lot more of them, so I was pretty lucky on that part. But luckily for me, Zangors also carry 2 wounds apiece, so that's the reason why these guys are pretty tough as well. But at the same time, though, I cannot replenish these ranks, so whatever Zangors I lose, I won't be able to replenish them. So I'm starting to maybe think that taking a Magister might have been a mistake on this part, but, you know, hindsight's 2020. And since there's no other charges or close combat or battle shock phases for my opponent, and I succeed mine on my bravery test, we go directly to the bottom of turn number 1 for the Disciples of Tzeentch. Alright, so that takes us to the bottom of turn number 1 for the Disciples of Tzeentch. This is after the hero phase. As you can see, I use my General's Crown of Conquest ability. I originally put Inspiring Presence onto my unit of Zangor, so that way they're become completely resistant to any battle shock tests for the rest of the battle. And the reason why I put on my Zangors is because this is the most high performing unit I have in my army, and so it only makes sense that my opponent Smells Like Febreze will just throw everything he has against this unit as well. So I want to protect these guys from running away using bravery. I do have the Demagogue command trait, so it does put +2 bravery on these guys if I'm within 9 inches of them, but I just wanted to put something a little bit extra to make sure that these guys don't flee off the table every single time I use them as well. So that's the command phase on this side of the board. At the same time, I also use my General's command ability, Unending Legions, and I summon up a unit of 10 Chaos Warriors equipped with halberds. These guys are marks in each as well, and I put them right at the back of that chateau within 5 inches of that table edge and more than 3 inches away from that Coadel the Will Lord. And pretty much I deploy those guys there just because during the charging phase, I plan on charging these halberdiers directly into the back of that Treeman Ancient, engage him in close combat, try to whittle this guy down with wounds, because this character is the backbone for the entire Sylvaneth army. He's the reason why they can summon up Sylvaneth Wildwoods, and if I can defeat this guy quickly, then I can basically stop Sylvaneth Wildwoods from being created on the battlefield. So that's what has happened on this side. So with command phase done, we go directly to the movement phase. And as you can see in this photo, I just ran everything up as quickly as I possibly could. I ran up my Chaos Knights. Lucky for me, they all passed the Danish terrain test. They made it across the board very, very safely. I also ran up my Zangors, who are located in the center of the hill there on the other side of those towers, as well as my second son, sorry, not my second sons, my Stormlords down the right-hand side, kind of holding up the right-hand flank. At the same time, I also run up my General, my Magister, as well as Flotsam and Jetsam to keep them within range of the Zangors and give them their bonuses as well. I ended up using 2 of my Dusty Dice in order to make sure that everyone ran up. Basically, I used it for my General as well as my Magister, because they rolled like 1s for those 2 guys when they ran, so I used a 6 as well as a 5 to move these guys up as quickly as I possibly could. So I'm down 2 Destiny Dice, but at the same time, though, I get to add all the buffs that I have for this unit as well, which is also pretty important. So with move phase done, we go directly to shooting phase. And in the charge phase, I waste no time whatsoever in charging in my newly summoned up unit of Tzeentch Chaos Warrior Halberdiers directly to the back of Coadel the Will Lord. Like I said before, my plan is to kind of whittle this guy down, kind of make him weaker to make him less effective as time goes on, and hopefully want to motivate my opponent to teleport his general out of the field of fire, because this guy's being engaged in close combat. And with that being said, we go directly to the close combat phase. and it was absolutely lackluster for me. I lost 4 members of my Chaos Warriors from my newly summoned unit. At the same time, I only managed to inflict 2 wounds onto Coadil as well. One of the most disappointing things about the Age of Sigmar is how poorly performance the Slave to Darkness Chaos Warriors do. I mean, they hit on a 4-up, they wound on a 4-up, they really don't get any bonuses to hit. Really, same thing with Chaos Knights. They're kind of disappointing. They're kind of been like nerfed since the days of Warhammer 8th edition. But you know, these guys are cheap cannon fodder. I can call them up whenever I need to, so I'll take whatever turns I can. So that being said, we both go directly to the top of turn number 2. We roll off for initiative on that one. Alright, so we take directly to the top of turn number 2. I win the initiative on this part, and this is directly after the command phase. During the command phase, I cast my spell Bolt of Change Off, managed to put 3 wounds onto that member of the Troop of Dawn right over there on the right-hand side, managed to put 3 mortal wounds on that guy. Fortunately for me, though, I didn't get a chance to kill him, so because I had no Chaos Spawn for this one, but I'll take what I can get at this point. So that's the spell that I cast. At the same time, I also use my General's command ability to put Inspiring Presence onto that unit of Zangar to buff those guys up as well. And I also summoned up another unit of 10 Chaos Warrior Halberdiers with Marks of Tzeentch. And once again, I apologize for the blurriness of this picture because it's kind of like not a good thing to have blurry pictures because, you know, it just looks kind of poor quality overall. Anyways, I summoned up this new unit of Halberdiers because my plan is to have these guys charge directly into Coadil as well. Put additional wounds onto that Tree Lord because I need that Tree Lord Ancient Dead like yesterday, because otherwise he can start casting more spells, start summoning up more Sylvaneth Wildwoods, and that's just going to be all kinds of bad for me. So that pretty much makes the command phase on this one. So with the command phase over, we go directly to the movement phase. As you see in the movement phase, I pretty much just move everything up as quickly as I possibly can. On the left-hand side, I don't run my Chaos Knights, but I move them up their first full 10 inches, so that way the second sons are within charging distance of the Troop of Dawn there on the left-hand side. At the same time, I run up my Zangors through the Chower over there, a couple inches short of reaching the Troop of Dawn there on the right-hand side. And the reason why I do that is because Zangors can both run and charge in the same turn, which is another cool quality that they actually have. I also move up my General, as well as Flotsam Jetsam, my Chaos Familiar, as well as my Magister Barnabas the Scrivener. Move them up so that way they can add some more buffs to the rest of the units. At the same time, I also move up my Stormlords over to the right hand side at Sylvaneth Wildwoods, so that way they occupy. I just move up their 5 inches, so that way they can try to attempt a long bomb charge into the Troop of Dawn during the charge phase. Here's a close-up of the second sons getting ready to charge directly into the Troop of Dusk and try to hopefully cause as much damage as they possibly can against that unit of Kurnoth Hunters. Here's a close-up of my Changelings getting ready to charge to the Troop of Dawn, so that way they can wipe those guys out as well. Here's another shot of my Stormlords occupying the Sylvaneth Wildwood here on the right-hand side, so that way nobody could teleport in there because the Sylvaneth Wildwood was being used, and that way they can't be within 9 inches of the rest of my army. So that's where these guys are located here, defending my right-hand flank. And here's a close-up of the second unit of newly summoned Chaos Warriors armed with Halberdiers, getting ready to charge into the left-hand side of Coadil to join up the unit I summoned up last turn. So that way they can start putting some pain onto that Tree Lord Ancient as well. So with movement over, we go directly to the shooting phase. Using the Arcane Banners from the Zangors, I managed to put another mortal wound onto that member of the Troop of Dawn as well, so that guy's now carrying 4 wounds, so that way I can weaken these guys before I charge them to close combat. And with that being said, we go directly to the charge phase. As you can see in this photo, I just charge everything that's inside my army. My second son is charged into the Troop of Dusk, while my Changelings, as well as my unit of Stormlords, charge directly into the Troop of Dawn as well. Get those guys all engaged in close combat so everyone can get stuck in and start slaying people. So that makes up the close-up on this charge phase. And over here in the back rank, I send in my second unit of summoned Halberdiers, having charged directly into Coadil as well. So now Coadil is surrounded by 16 halberd-wielding Chaos Warriors. Unfortunately for me, though, because he isn't then the cover bonuses that he gets from being inside the Sylvaneth Wildwood, his save is at a 2-up, so all he has to do is roll 1s for me to wound him. So that part is kind of hard, and that's why it's having such a hard time getting this guy. But, you know, hopefully sheer numbers will be able to take this guy down in a couple of notches. So with charges done out of the way, we go directly to the combat phase. This photo is taken directly after the combat phase as well as the battle shock phase. As you can see, I lose very minimal amount of Chaos Warriors as well as Zangors. I managed to kill the entire Troop of Dusk with the combined attacks between my Zangors. They managed to kill off 2 of those Kurnoth Hunters in the process, and I was put 2 more wounds into the third one, and then of course my Stormlords was able to finish out the very last of the Kurnoth Hunters in the Troop of Dawn, so that part was kind of nice as well. For my second sons, however, they only managed to kill 1 Kurnoth Hunter and managed to take 2 wounds in the exchange, so not much was really happening with my Chaos Knights. I was kind of sad about their performance in this battle, but you know, I'll take whatever damage I can do at this part, so that makes it the combat on this side of the board. And back here, I only managed to put 2 more additional wounds onto Coadil, and managed to kill another 2 more Chaos Warriors from my first unit of summoned Halberdiers as well, so that part was kind of rough. He managed to get his Gaunt Stomp attack off, so everyone has a -1 to hit. So my everyone is rolling a 5 to hit, 4 to wound. At the same time, he's also got armor saving 2 because of Sylvaneth Wildwood. This Tree Lord Ancient is just taking forever and a day to kill. And then, once again, Chaos Warriors have been kind of nerfed a little bit since the days of Warhammer 8th Edition. I'm kind of sad about the way they're performing, but at the same time, though, I really can't complain because these are 2 units that I summoned up using my command ability, so they don't really cost me points. So, I'll take what I can at this point. So with that being said, we go directly to the bottom, turn number 2 for the Sylvaneth for this battle report. Alright, so that takes us directly to the bottom, turn number 2, after the movement phase for the Sylvaneth. During the command phase, Coadil the Will Lord tried to summon up some more, trying to cast Arcane Bolt originally, and my Chaos Lord, but unfortunately for him, though, his spell just was kind of flooded with Snake Eyes on that part, so because that smells like he was unable to hurt my general. So we go directly to the movement phase. As you can see in this photo, he summons up, he basically deploys 2 more of his units. He deploys his Court of Seasons, which is that huge unit of 20 Dryads on the far right-hand side of that Sylvaneth Wildwood, as well as the hill, which puts him in direct beeline to the back of my Stormlords, which would be kind of rough if he charged those guys into the rear. At the same time, he also deploys his Court of Heralds, which is 5 tree ordnance there on the left-hand side, and it looks like they're getting ready to charge directly into Barnabas the Scrivener, which is my Magister as well. So that would be kind of rough as well if he managed to get those charges off. So with movement out of the way, we go directly onto the shooting phase. During the shooting phase, the Kurnoth Hunters of the Troop of Dust managed to put 3 wounds onto my second sons, killing one of my Chaos Knights and getting that guy killed outright, putting 2 more onto another one of my Knights, which is kind of rough as well. Like I said, I'm kind of a little disappointed on the Slaves of Darkness Chaos Knights, Age of Sigmar, but like I said before, it's just some things you gotta deal with. What you're paying for in points is not necessarily their performance in combat, it's their ability to move very rapidly across the battlefield. During the charge phase, the tribute ornaments failed their charge. They're pretty much stuck where they're located at right there on the right-hand side, which is pretty lucky for my Magister because I basically have some options now. I can try to cast Bolt to Change off and try to get some Chaos Spawn put on the table, or I could cast my Bolt to Change spells onto the Tree Revenants. I pretty much got options on this point, so that'd be kind of nice to kind of figure out how I'm going to deal with these Tree Revenants. At the same time, the entire Court of Seasons successfully make their charge against my unit of my the Stormlords there on the road cannon on the right hand side for my Chaos Warriors. Now, luckily for me, because the unit was so thick in terms of depth, when they charge, only half the guys can engage in close combat. It's really going to help me out in the next combat phase. So that part was kind of nice, but at the same time, though, Dryads do hit like a ton of bricks. They do mess up your day if you let them, so that part's going to be kind of rough as well. So with charge phase over, we go directly to the combat phase. And in the combat phase, I managed to put 2 more wounds onto one of the Kurnoth Hunters of the Troop of Dusk, and they managed to kill the other Chaos Knight that was carrying on some wounds as well. So now my second sons are down to half strength, which is kind of rough. Luckily for me, though, I did pass my bravery test because my general is the 9 inches of this unit, so they get +2 to their bravery. Once again, Chaos Knight's just not really, pulling their weight in terms of points, in my opinion. Combat phase is also kind of lackluster here on this side. Both my opponent and I just kind of flubbed our rolls, really. I only managed to kill like a couple of Dryads. I think he managed to kill 2 or 3 of my Chaos Warriors as well. When we tested for bravery test, because we inflicted so little wounds, we automatically passed the bravery test, so no big deal on that part. So that was kind of nice, but man, we just absolutely flubbed these rolls. A bunch of 1s and 2s all day, every day when it came for both Fresh Smells Like a Breeze as well as myself. So that makes a combat here on the right-hand side of the board. And over here in the back rank, we managed to put 3 more wounds onto Coadil the Will Lord, so now he's carrying 7 wounds. However, Coadil managed to wipe out the very first unit of halberd-wielding Chaos Warriors that brought on the last turn, the very first turn, so that part was kind of rough as well. Like I said before, that ground stop attack, getting -1 to hit and getting that 2-up save is making this Tree Lord Ancient almost invincible with that part down. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 3. We both roll for initiative to see exactly who will take the first turn. We both rolled for initiative on top of turn number 3, and it goes to Disciples of Tzeentch on this one. So I get to manage to take this one as well, which is actually kind of cool. So this is a photo just taken directly after the command phase. As you can see in this photo, basically 2 things happen. First of all, with my Magister, I use my ability to cast Bolt to Change onto that unit of the Court of Seasons, which is that unit of Dryads. Managed to put 3 mortal wounds on that unit. So because of that, every single time one of those unit models die, I get to roll a d6. And for every score of 4 up, I get to summon a brand new Chaos Spawn in that situation. So because because that I killed 3 Dryads, I rolled a 4, a 4, and I also used one of my one of my dice of destiny to get a 4 in there as well. So now I have 3 chaos spawn that just populate the map at the back of those Dryads, which is really going to help out, so that way they can start putting some attacks on and get those Dryads put into a pincer attack and wipe those guys out. Now, because when I cast my spell, I rolled double 4s on that part, the Magister's ability is that he can cast another spell right afterwards. So then I cast Arcane Bolt onto that unit of Tree Remnants and managed to kill 3 of them as well, which is pretty freaking amazing when it came to that part. So got very, very lucky in the magic phase on that part. Also, same with the command phase, I also used my Inspiring Presence ability to put onto my Zangors once again, so that way those guys don't have to worry about Battle Shock tests. And I also managed to summon another unit of 5 Chaos Knights, which are located on the right hand side, which I'm going to charge directly into those Tree Remnants to protect my Magister. So pretty eventful command phase, and I just pretty much dominated on that part, which is pretty awesome. Here's a close-up of the 3 Chaos Spawn that I summoned up after using Bolted Chant into those Dryads, which is great now. So now those Dryads are now counting into a pincer attack between my Chaos Warriors of the Stormlords, as well as those Chaos Spawn, which then frees up my unit of Zangors to go charge directly to Coadil and deal with him. And here's a close-up of my 5 Chaos Knights I summoned here on the right-hand side of the board to charge in to deal with these Tree Remnants. So with command phase done, we go directly to the movement phase. So in the move phase, I basically move all my troops forward to go directly to Coadil the Warlord of that Sylvaneth Wildwood. I moved that forest out of the way so that way you guys can see exactly what kind of combat's taking place there between my Zangors as well as Coadil the Warlord. And that way you can also see the combat to my Dryads, to my opponent's Dryads with my Chaos Warriors, the Stormlords, as well as those 3 Chaos Spawn. In the charge phase, because shooting was pretty much irrelevant, I charged my Zangors directly into Coadil the Warlord to give support to those 10 Chaos Warriors I summoned up last turn to help them out as well. At the same time, I also charging my Stormlords indirectly to the front of the Dryads, and then of course have my Chaos Spawn charge directly to the back of the Dryads to get those guys into a pincer attack. And then on the right hand side there, I charge my Chaos Knights into the Tree Remnants to deal with those guys. Here's a close-up of my newly summoned unit of Chaos Knights dealing out with these last 2 Tree Remnants, and that combat should go pretty much my way on that one. And here's a close-up of my Changelings as well as my Chaos Warriors getting just swarming on Coadil the Warlord, and managed to put that guy out of action here in the next combat phase. And here's a close of my Chaos Spawn with my Stormlords getting the Dryads into a pincer attack. So with charges out of the way, we go directly to the combat phase. And in the combat phase, we managed to put another wound onto the Kurnoth Hunter there, which is located there. He's got a little 5 die there. It's actually supposed to be 4. That guy actually survived it. However, they managed to kill another one of my Chaos Knights, so basically those 2 guys are now stuck in a stalemate as well. Also, you can see in that picture as well, Coadil the Warlord has been chopped down to his baser elements. The reason why is because those Zangors, with the number of attacks that those guys get off and the buffs they get for being near characters, is absolutely outstanding and ridiculous. They had no problem whatsoever finishing off Coadil, while my Chaos Warriors just kind of looked onto the side there and I was like, oh, that was quick. At the same time, between my Stormlords as well as my Chaos Spawn, I managed to cut this unit of Dryads down to about 1/3 of its original size. And so that part was pretty epic as well. They managed to put 2 more wounds onto my Chaos Spawn, which is located on the left-hand side of that gray one there. And they also managed to kill a couple of my Chaos Warriors. It was just a situation where there were too many people to attack. They couldn't really focus their attacks on any one unit. They decided to divide up their attacks between the 2 units that were assaulting them. And so because of that, it didn't really tip the scale too much in the favor of the Sylvaneth on that part as well. So that pretty much makes up turn number 3 for the Warriors of Chaos. As at this point, the battle report that my buddy Smells Like Febreze pretty much calls the game and kind of surrenders to me. I killed as well his Tree Lord, took out one of his unit of Kurnoth Hunters, decimated his unit of Tree Remnants as well with my Chaos Knights, wiped those guys off the table. He's only got 2 more Kurnoth Hunters left and maybe 7 Dryads left over on the table, and he realizes he can't win this with anything else anymore. So at that point, he pretty much surrenders at that point. So yeah, that pretty much makes up the battle report for this one. Because this game is now over, we go directly to the after action report.
Sure, I could have stayed in the past. Could have even been king. But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Alright, now it's time for the after action report. This is the part of the battle report we talk about what went well, what went poorly, what we can learn for the next time that we do battle for Age of the Realms. This has been Age of the Realms Battle Report number 20 for Age of Sigmar. It was fought between myself with my Legion of the Hellmouth of this Disciples of Tzeentch versus my buddy Smells Like Febreze of the Wild Hunt with his Sylvaneth army at 1,000 points. And that being a victory for yours truly. So let's go and talk about some of the factors that kind of led to that. First of all, summoning up units of Cannon Fodder Slave of Darkness units really helped me out in this battle report. It kind of helped me balance the scale against my opponent's Sylvaneth abilities to move around. That way I could summon up units to trouble spots to deal with any teleporting units like those Tree Revenants. I was able to bring up a unit of Chaos Knights to deal with those guys. I could pull up units of Chaos Warriors to attack Coetel the Will Lord, which is my opponent's Tree Lord Ancient, all kinds of different things. So that ability to call up these guys was really, really important. It really helped me out a lot in this battle report as well. Now, on the flip side for that part, Warriors of Chaos as well as Chaos Knights are pretty much lackluster in this new set of rules for Age of Sigmar. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of those units in my army and actually setting up another unit of Tzeentch Arcanines, maybe doing Hero Acolytes probably, or using those disc riding Zangors and maybe make a Zangor, a Zangor battalion with that, so that way I have nothing but Zangor in my unit. I don't know, it's pretty much up in the air on that part. I do like having the Magister. His ability is powerful to bring up new Chaos Spawn, but I'm also miss the ability of my Zangor Shaman to replenish my unit of Zangors through using magic. So I might want to rethink my list and maybe do some adjustments to that part. At the same time, though, I do like using the Chaos Lord to summon up new units. So I don't know, things are pretty much up in the air at this point. So I might have to go back, and my army list might be changing pretty drastically here in a little bit. Once again, it was great fighting against my old army as Blast. It was very nostalgic. I remember playing with this new army, with the Wild Hunt for the longest time, having a blast playing Sylvaneth. It was kind of interesting taking out my old army to see exactly how it stack up. So to anybody who says that Sylvaneth are overpowered, this video just kind of proves that idea wrong. You just got to be able to know how to fight Sylvaneth, which is to get stuck in as quickly as possible, stop them from teleporting their stuff in, and stop having them bring up Sylvaneth Wildwoods, and you're pretty much golden. As always, this was a great game, great opponent. Looking for the rematch, and we'll be posting that battle report up soon. So once again, feel free to like, subscribe, or comment. Your guys' input is valuable as always. I love going around the back and forth answering questions that you guys have, and having you guys check out the page. That part is really awesome as well. Feel free to check out my Google Plus page as well as the Instagram page for all the latest news on what we're doing for the hobby, so that way you guys stay up to date with the channel. So once again, you guys, this is pretty much going to wrap it up for battle report number 20. We'll see you guys next Sunday as well when we alternate with this with the 9th Saga, which is our 9th Age battle reports, as well as Thursdays we do Tales of the Underhive, which is our Necromunda battle reports, and alternate with Warhammer the Golden Age, which is our 8th edition of Fantasy Battle. So we'll see you guys on the next one, either on Sunday or Thursday. You guys keep it classy. Peace out.